China, if it's not the number one, it will be the number one outbound market for hoteliers around the world. So it's a matter of, how do we as hoteliers present ourselves to that market? How do we attract them? And how do we market or modify our products to suit their needs? And going inbound, again, inside China, there are lots of multinational brands already established in China. So the Chinese own brand is now facing competition. It's up to them to raise the game. Recently, we have signed up a new hotel group, Mingyu Hotel Group, and they have properties in Beijing and properties in Chengdu in Sichuan province. Our job now is to hold their hands together and hopefully raise the game and compete with the branded products in China. Chinese are very traditional, especially breakfast. So my advice is to make sure that, say, at breakfast, you have one or two items, Chinese breakfast items, so it make them happy. And secondly, which is actually more important, is can they read the content of your website in Chinese? And I think everybody heard of the Great Fire War of China. So getting read by people on their mobile is very popular, and tweet about things in the Chinese way to talk about your hotel is very important. So we all know that the sort of traditional Western social media is not allowed to get in there. So to be able to market your hotels to the Chinese audience, you need to be within that war and have the Weibo is one of the channels to talk about, for people to use social media to talk about your hotels. Now, a lot of people coming abroad from China, maybe their first time, they might join tours, but I've seen a lot of FIT's individuals coming over. There are also a good number of, for example, different culture and minorities in China, Muslim people, for example. And we also recently cooperate with a new hotel group that is in Saudi Arabia. They do a lot of religious tours. And again, it's a matter of how do we present that to the Chinese audience, and it's very important. Everybody seems to be using technology as a, excuse or something. Technology is great, but to me, it can never replace human contact. And WTM is an ideal place for me. I'm learning. Yeah. For me to hear, to listen, to see what the trend is. Maybe I need to plan what would happen in 3 years' time, 4 years' time. But this is a place to talk to people. They got lots of ideas, so we can see, all right, traditionally GDS is for everybody, now moving more and more to the corporate market. This is where, as Supranational, we are very focused on how do we help hotels to gain more share in that corporate market. So WTM is the ideal place. You talk, you listen, and you meet people. The world is getting smaller. We have to help, put it this way, we have to help the budget airlines fighting against the traditional airlines. These are making things easier, or people easier to come into Europe, and the other way around as well. So yes, again, when the living standard has improved, what would the first thing people want to do is to travel, to see the world. Traditionally in China, for example, wedding pictures. They would go into the studio with backdrop of Tower Bridge as a backdrop, take the wedding pictures. Now I see a lot of newlyweds next to my office. They're taking pictures at the real place. Expectations different now. That's why we're here every year. This is the best place to be. So if people ask me, what do you wish to do next year? Here, back here.